and put the first slide up. I'll get there, I promise. A traditional prayer at Passover is called the Dayenu, and those of you who have seen the latest season of The Chosen remember this prayer very well from the Last Supper. The course of that prayer recounts events of salvation history and each one concludes with the statement, "Lord, that would have been enough." And today's gospel would be a good example of a Catholic adaptation of the Dayenu. We might very well say to the Lord, if all you had done was to transform 5 loaves and 2 fishes into enough food for 5,000, Lord, that would have been enough. And the spirit of that prayer is to say to God, every single event of salvation history would have been enough for us, Lord. But you didn't stop. You went on, and you have shown us your faithfulness again and again and again. And that is the essence of our prayer on the solemnity of the most holy body and blood of Christ. That, Lord, you did not stop until your faithfulness was so clear that it results in the body, the blood, the soul, divinity of your only begotten Son coming to me in the most personal and intimate way possible. I marvel every day at how faithful God is to all of his promises. And again, not just in some abstract intellectual way, I see the faithfulness of God in the events and in the lives that compose this community right here and right now. One example of a surprising event in the life of this community happened just this week. And my conclusion was only we are seeing again the complete faithfulness of God. I've spent a lot of the last 2 years walking around this neighborhood, and I generally start out at the sacristy and I cross over the parking lot and I go up 5th Street and I kind of walk a broad circle around the campus of St. Francis. And one thing that has caught my eye from the very beginning are all of that other houses and other businesses that seem like they kind of crowd in on the community of St. Francis. And I've often found myself praying and sort of daydreaming about the day when all that we can see right here in this neighborhood is ours and has been consecrated and repurposed for the salvation of the souls and the relief of the suffering of so many people who come here seeking not just relief from anxiety and from anger and from all kinds of other maladies, but a sense of real identity, purpose, mission, and direction in the world. And it is my pledge, and the pledge of the entire clergy and staff of this parish, to demonstrate to an increasingly broadening circle of people that all that they have been seeking in life and the fulfillment of every desire is found right here. Now, what happened this week? Well, for all those years, we start inquiring, saying, hey, could we buy that property? Could we buy that house? Could we buy that business? And the answer historically has always been, no! And go away, stop asking. What happened just in the last couple of weeks is there are actually 2 or 3 homeowners and business owners right here in our neighborhood that have come to us and said, yeah, okay, we can talk. And to me, again, it was such a clear sign that God hears our prayers and that God always responds in faithfulness. So the real challenge has become for us of making the means of acquiring those properties possible, because right now we've got a plan for the long range, for the strategic mission of St. Francis, and it didn't include those additional 2 or 3 properties. And so Father Dave, being a tremendously skilled veteran of the Ways and Means of the diocese has come up with a new approach, and it involves the appeal. You may recall, and we did this last year, that when we had the opportunity to grow the resources that are necessary for the long-term investment in our community, we extended the goal of the appeal. And because we were able to meet that enhanced goal, we now enjoy, well, for example, brand new HVAC equipment here in the church. And I sort of got an offhanded blessing and reminder of God's faithfulness when people come to me and say, "Father, it's way too cold in the church in June." And again, that is a sign of God's faithfulness at work through you, through your prayer, and through your generosity. And this is one of the things that has me so excited this week, because again, I can see God's faithfulness in a way that I did not see it 2 weeks ago. That we have the opportunity to cooperate and to collaborate with God's faithfulness in growing the mission of this church, and to do it in a very intelligent and a way of careful stewardship. Because you see, what happens when we extend our appeal goal, we avoid a couple of potential obstacles. Number one, we duck around the diocese's prohibition on capital campaigns. They have their own capital campaign coming, so they've told the parishes, you're not allowed to run a capital campaign, so that avenue is closed to us. Number two, which brings a lot of joy to our priest's heart, when we raise that surplus, it comes directly back to the community of St. Francis without the diocesan tax. Every single dollar that we raise beyond that goal is available to us, and will be available to us to capitalize on an opportunity to grow the physical plant of St. Francis in a way that we did not anticipate. And there's such a beautiful, so many good reasons to do that. Number one, I know in my life I've woken up on certain mornings and really struggled to button my pants. And what a wonderful thing it is to go to the store, maybe buy one size bigger. Whew! Does that feel better? And so, extending the real estate that we own for our campus, being able to buy the houses and perhaps the businesses that become available this week, again, is an opportunity for us to continue to grow the ministries that we have here at St. Francis. I'm thinking about the fact that we have evolved beyond the usual model of parents writing us a check, drop off your kids, and we'll take them to PSR. We've now expanded that ministry to include the entire family. Number two, that we have a thriving substance abuse ministry and are contemplating going beyond substance abuse to healing people who are afflicted by addiction in many more ways. We have added a ministry of outreach to men and women who have a history of abortion in their lives, and offering them healing and new hope in a way that we were not before. Specifically, as we contemplate the possibility of acquiring these properties, we're contemplating offering Calm a permanent home here on the campus of the church, which we have not had before. We're contemplating offering a permanent home to the Turban Project, a place where they have not had before. We are contemplating the addition of new offices and new gathering space so that we can continue to expand our staff and expand our adult faith formation. So here's what I'm hoping will happen. Because, well, right now, imagine that we've got a bicycle built for 100 people. And that bicycle is full. It's got 100 people riding on it. But only 32 of them are pedaling. That's exactly where we are on the appeal. We raised our enhanced goal last year with 32% participation, which means to me 32 people are on the appeal bike pedaling, 68 of those people are on the appeal bike and not pedaling. So, I want to encourage all of the 68 out there to begin, to the full extent that you are able, to begin pedaling, to join us in making a contribution to the appeal goal so that we have the resources available to us to acquire those properties and expand the physical plant of St. Francis in a way that we did not imagine was possible even 2 weeks ago. Number two, the second really good reason for doing this is, and Father Dave will attest to this as well, there is nothing in the world that brings greater consolation to a priest's heart than to say, Father, don't worry, it's all taken care of. And what a beautiful thing that we're able to go to Father Tom when he arrives and say, we have an opportunity to acquire these properties, and don't worry, Father Tom, it's all taken care of. And the third reason why I would encourage you all to participate, either by increasing a contribution to the appeal that you've already made, or if you have not made a contribution to the appeal, by making one today. I'll take you back to, I don't know, what was it, Dave, about 6-8 weeks ago, Father Dave sat down with me and he said, I'm going to New Albany. And do you want to come with me? And I'll be the first to confess, there was a big part of me that said, absolutely I do. But then I remembered why God sent me to St. Francis. I know very specifically the mission that God sent me here to complete. And I know very well that mission is not yet complete. Which is why I said to Father Dave, I love you, but I'm staying here. And so the third reason to make a contribution to the appeal is to say to me, Father, I see you standing, and I will stand with you. Because you see, if we hit this goal, and if we are able to acquire those properties, I know what's going to happen. A year from now, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, there will be people, many of whom we haven't even met yet, who will say, I am alive, I am thriving, I am growing because of my relationship with Jesus Christ, a relationship that began right here because of you.